Hello everyone, Sai here with another Path of Exile 2 video. In this series, this is the third one. I read through all the leaked Ascendency notes. They are now officially leaked by GGG, so we can finally dive into every single of these juicy Ascendency notes, and maybe this will help us to decide what to league start or what kind of build we want to play with the class we start. In this video, I will talk about the Ranger, the two Ascendencies of the Ranger, the Deadeye and the Pathfinder. Let's start with the Pathfinder. Okay, let's start with 1 and 2. Avidity, 30% chance that if you would gain frenzy charges, you instead gain up to your maximum number of frenzy charges. Now, I don't know how many frenzy charges you can get at the maximum value. I don't even know if there are maximum frenzy charges on the tree left or not. But starting with 3, let's assume there are still 3 maximum charges on the tree. That would be 6. So that is actually really nice. That will reduce the amount of time that you have to press a charge generator skill until you can then use the charges for an offensive damaging skill or whatever. So this is Avidity is a very good skill, I think. Thrilling Chase, that would be the 4-pointer after the Avidity. Benefits from consuming frenzy charges for your skills have 50% chance to be doubled. So double the effect of charges, of frenzy charges in this case. The charge spender skills, in general, the benefits you get from consuming charges are crazy. So doubling that effect sounds ridiculous to me, actually. That sounds very strong. I think the main reason why you want to play Deadeye probably is the frenzy charge stuff. 3 Eagle Eyes, you have no accuracy penalty at distance. So this will be a number of points. I don't know how many, but that will 6 to 9 points on the passive tree that you will save with this one. So that's really good. And you also relieve pressure on your items. You don't need to roll any more accuracy rating on gear. That is nice. So this is not bad. It's kind of a filler note. This is not a reason to go Deadeye. Point blank and far shots. Projectiles deal 20% more hits against enemies that are near you. And far shot is kind of the same thing, but for enemies that are at a great distance. So point blank is good early on. Also for bossing, most of the time point blank I think will be better. Far shot is really good if you want to clear maps really quickly. Then far shot shines. And what is after those two nodes? Endless munitions. Okay, the additional projectile. I love that GGG doesn't put an attack modifier here, so it's all skills. There's an argument that you want to do a spark Deadeye. You can apply an additional mark called shots. This is a 2-pointer again. I think this is generically very strong. This will be like 30% more damage or something like that. Very strong node. Especially if you have mark effect on the tree, which I don't know. 7 and 8 is the last 2-pointer. Gathering Winds, gain Tailwind on skill use, lose all Tailwind when hit. So let's see what Tailwind is. Tailwind is a stacking buff. We don't know if that means that it costs Spirit or not. I hope not. Which grants 1% increased movement speed, 3% increased skill speed. Skill speed, huh? I think skill speed means more attack speed and or more cast speed. And 15% increased evasion rating per stack for 10 seconds, refreshing whenever you gain another stack, maximum 10 stacks. So you only get 10% movement speed, which is very weak, I think. Huh, why didn't they at least do 2% per stack? I don't know, that really sounds weak to me. But the 30% more attack speed or more cast speed sounds really, really strong. and then getting 150% increased evasion rating at the maximum also sounds very, very strong. We will have to wait and see how easy it is to not get hit. For example, if the meta build is some kind of chill or ice shot bow builds, then this could be very strong, right? Because the enemies won't hit you, and then you will run with 10 stacks most of the time. If you get hit every 2 seconds, then Tailwind is not good. And then Wind Ward, 3% less damage taken per Tailwind. This can be very strong, but it's not really reliable. Mm, this is something that you really have to use and see if you like it or not. The first node, Tailwind, I think will be almost every Deadeye will take it. I assume that as a Deadeye you will get the Frenzy stuff, then get Tailwind. But I mean additional projectiles is also good. Maybe there's a case for not taking Tailwind at all and then just go for the additional projectile and the Frenzy. I don't know. And if you don't take Frenzy charge, maybe it's still okay, the Ascendency, but it's not really. The second best node, I think, on Deadeye is the additional projectile. I don't know. And you could do Spark Caster with Tailwind and then the additional projectile and Far Shot. This could be also quite strong. I don't know, like I didn't compare Stormweaver right next to Deadeye, but maybe the Deadeye will be the Spark Ascendancy. We will have to wait and see. Yeah, I think Deadeye will be a very good carry class with the Frenzy Charge stuff. And then with the Tailwind also with a 30% increased attack speed or cast speed. This sounds like a good carry setup. A lot of damage. Yeah, but defensive wise, Winch Ward kinda, I don't know. It would also be interesting if Windward would get, like, if you lose Tailwind, if you block stuff. Because in Path of Exile 1, how it worked was you get hit, but then don't take damage. So if you could be like an evasion-based character with also block, and then you do melee attacks with the Windward, that maybe could be very, very strong, actually. I mean, 30% less damage taken is better than the other Ascendancy nodes, which are typically 20% less. Interesting. Okay, let's continue with the Pathfinder now. And the one node I'm most curious about is if the Pathfinder still has the life flask node where your life flask doesn't end. Let's see. Connected chemistry, 50% more flask charges gained. This is a little bit unreliable for boss fights. I don't know about the tree. Maybe on the tree there exists something like gain X amount of charge per seconds. If that still exists, this node of course is very good. But if you can't get charges per second passively, then you can't keep up your flask during a boss fight, which was one of the advantages of a Pathfinder in Path of Exile 1. And basically, since flasks got heavily nerfed, you don't have utility flasks anymore. And I don't know about the charms, how good they will be in endgame. Maybe this is not as good anymore. But let's continue to enduring elixirs. Life flask effects are not removed when unreserved life is filled. Life flask effects do not queue. I mean, this was just what I was talking about earlier. Basically, this says Pathfinder very, very strong ascendancy, will be very, very good defensive, generic defensively. You can have probably thousands of life regen per second with this node. There's not even like a penalty to the life last recovery. If there's actually no support whatsoever on the tree for improving your life last, then maybe this node is not strong, but I assume there will be a lot of nodes on the tree that improve your life blast recovery. So I think Enduring Elixirs is a S tier node, one of the best nodes from all Ascendencies, and therefore Pathfinder will be very, very strong. But let's continue. Contagious Contamination, the most damaging poison on enemies prolive. We already knew this. So going poison with Pathfinder will be very, very strong. Overwhelming Toxicity would be the 4-pointer. In this case, it is actually number 4, nice. Double the number of poisons you can inflict on enemies, very, very strong. If you can have a very good uptime on poisons, this is almost like double damage. Um, then we have this interesting concoction thing where you can, for example, as a poison build, you could use the fulminating concoction to still be able to shock enemy, maybe. Oh, and you also inflict cold exposure. Okay, interesting. I don't know. In Path of Exile, these concoction skills had one very high benefit, which was you didn't need a weapon for these to do a lot of damage. So that could be a case where you spec these early game, and this could be your first Ascendancy node, and then you don't have to worry about your weapon anymore, and just spam these flasks for damage. But we don't know how strong these are, so yeah, just a guessing game. But that is one use case for sure for those. Traveler's Wisdom grants 5 passive skill points. Okay. So we had something like this in Path of Exile 1 with the Scion. The Scion also got free passive skill points. That was one reason why Scion was really good as a supporter class. This means that you can take more jewel slots basically. So this is not bad at all. If it's worth taking, we will have to wait and see, but I think for min-maxing characters, this could be very, very strong. 7, 30% less movement speed penalty when using skills while moving, that's the 2-pointer. And then the 8-pointer was your speed is unaffected by slows. Now, I don't know what slows mean. If that is freeze immunity, chill immunity, temporal chains immunity, hinder immunity, maim immunity, all that stuff. And maybe this is even stun immunity, I don't know. Depending on that, this could be very, very strong. But it's also a 4-pointer. But the running assault is also not bad. But you have to, when you think about the Pathfinder, you have to see it in this way that almost every Pathfinder will take these 2 points. So you only have two more big nodes left. So if you want to go poison build, you will take these 4 nodes. If you're not poison, then maybe those nodes are actually worth it. Yeah, Pathfinder is a very strong Ascendancy. I think Deadeye will also be a strong Ascendancy for Frenzy charges, basically. But if you're not taking Frenzy charges, you probably want to consider Pathfinder because of the defensive strength of this build. The one downside of pressing the life last is that you have to press the life last over and over again. So this can be a little bit tedious. So hopefully there will be nodes like flask duration. We will have to wait and see about that. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this read-through, getting to know the Ascendencies a little bit more. I really like that GG gave us all the Ascendencies before the early access, so we can plan a little bit better. If you have any questions about any of the nodes, leave a comment. Like and subscribe to the channel, of course, if you want to see more of my videos. And I will stream during the early access. I will probably go Sorceress, so I will focus on that, but I will be able to answer all your questions, all your troubleshooting, and help you guys with the early access. So definitely check out my Twitch, and take care.